There are lots of tracks in the Mario Kart franchise, and some tracks are more recognisable than others. And today, that is what I'm going to focus on this list. I'm going to go through every single Mario Kart game and determine which track is the most famous or which track is the most iconic in the game. So yeah, this list isn't really based upon how good the track is or how much I like it. Rather, it's based upon how unique, how iconic, and how easily recognisable the track is. This list is more focused on the track's legacy and how universally and objectively liked it is across the whole Mario Kart fan community, rather than my own subjective opinions. It's kind of like as if every single Mario Kart track in every game all got deleted apart from one. Which one of that track will be the one that's most likely to survive? So yeah. Also, Mario Kart Tour will count, but the arcade titles won't. So if you're happy with that, then let's begin. So, for Super Mario Kart, I think that the most iconic track is Rainbow Road. I mean, yeah, it's the most unique track in the game due to the fact that it's the only Mario Kart track not to be numbered, and also this was the first ever Rainbow Road, so it started the trend that every Mario Kart game ends with Rainbow Road. So yeah, as much as I love this track, it is also super iconic. No guardrails, the super thumps, the 90-degree turns, how stressful the track is, and the fact that it is the most remade track in the Mario Kart franchise, appearing in 4 different Mario Kart games, well 5 if you count Mario Kart Tour. Yeah, I think that SNES Rainbow Road stands out more than any other Super Mario Kart track. The shoutouts though, they also go to Mario Circuit 1 and Vanilla Lake 2. Just like Super Mario Kart, I think that Mario Kart 64's most iconic track is its Rainbow Road 2. Now, don't worry, this list won't just be Rainbow Roads. Now, N64 Rainbow Road is the longest track in the Mario Kart franchise, being 2,000 meters or 2 kilometers in length. I think that this is the most famous track for that reason. Also, there are guardrails across the whole track, which prevents you from falling off, making it the easiest Rainbow Road in the franchise to drive on. And the music is really relaxing, which makes it super iconic. Shoutouts go to Sherbet Land, Moo Moo Farm and Yoshi Valley. This track kind of speaks for itself. Whenever Mario Kart Super Circuit comes to my mind, I think of this track. This track has really pretty visuals, and it looks like such a happy place to be. Also, the music is so vibrant and really nostalgic. The track is also really unique as well. Sky Garden is the first track I think of when talking about Mario Kart Super Circuit. It has such a good charm to it that makes it so hard to forget. Shoutouts go to Sunset Wilds and Bowser Castle 3. GCN DK Mountain starts off with a cannon that launches you to the top of a volcano that you need to descend your way downwards while avoiding bottomless pits and falling rocks. This track is very iconic, and it is usually the first track that comes to everybody's mind when thinking of Mario Kart Double Dash. I think that it's because of the track's unique design. I also think that this track was the first Mario Kart track canonically to have a cannon, and lots of other tracks in later Mario Kart games borrowed that gimmick from this track, such as DS Waluigi Pinball and Wii Maple Treeway and Wii DK Snowboard Cross. So yeah, shoutouts go to Baby Park, Yoshi Circuit and Peach Beach. Okay, so it's now time for Mario Kart DS, and we have Waluigi Pinball. As overrated as I think this track is, again I cannot deny that this track is iconic. It's pretty much the face of Mario Kart DS. For starters, the music. This track shares the same music as Wario Stadium, and I think it represents Wario and Waluigi as characters very well. Wacky, fun, and quite mischievous. The track itself is iconic and unique. Driving on a pinball machine with custom sound effects when you drive on the boost or drive into an item box, it can't just speak for itself, it's so cool. Hands down one of, if not the most iconic track in the Mario Kart franchise, let alone Mario Kart DS. Shoutouts go to Delfino Square, TikTok Clock and Airship Fortress. Next up is Coconut Mall from Mario Kart Wii. This track is epic. A long time ago, this track used to be my favourite track in Mario Kart Wii, until it got surpassed by Toad's Factory, and then later got surpassed by my current favourite Mario Kart Wii track, which is Maple Tree Way. I think that the reason why this track is so iconic is because of the music. This song is probably the most famous Mario Kart song in the franchise. Also, the track itself is pretty iconic, especially the escalator section, and the bit where you drive around the Miis trying to park their cars. Also, there are plenty of ways to get out of bounds in Coconut Mall and just to mess about, really. So yeah, it's definitely the most iconic track in Mario Kart Wii. Shoutouts go to Mushroom Gorge, Maple Tree Way, Moo Meadows, Cooper Cave and Rainbow Road. This track has a really good gimmick, that being that the track is themed around music, and when you drive along the piano or glockenspiel, it plays along with the music. Also, the bouncing music notes near the end of the track add to the experience. No other Mario Kart track in the franchise offers the same experience as Melody Motorway. So that is why it is the most iconic track in Mario Kart 7. Shoutouts go to Woohoo Island Loop, Woohoo Mountain Loop, Cooper City and Rainbow Road. In Mario Kart 8, I have to give this one to Mount Wario. For starters, this track is done in sections rather than laps, so that in itself gives this track a major boost upon how unique and how famous the track is. Also, this track is one of, if not the best graphically looking track in the entire Mario Kart franchise. Everyone likes the track and I don't blame them. This track is fantastic and the atmosphere is really good too. Mount Wario is definitely the most famous track in Mario Kart 8. Shoutouts go to Shy Guy Falls, Sunshine Airport and Electrodrome. And I think that the most iconic track in Mario Kart Tour is Vancouver Velocity. I feel that as soon as people mention Mario Kart Tour, this is the track that comes to mind more than any other track in Mario Kart Tour. The music is pretty iconic and it kind of represents Mario Kart Tour as a whole very well. This track tends to be a fan favourite for Mario Kart Tour. So yeah, I just feel that Vancouver Velocity is really iconic and it's a really good track as well. Shoutouts go to Tokyo Blur, Singapore Speedway, Ninja Highway, New York Minute and Los Angeles Laps. So, now that I have decided which track is the most famous from every Mario Kart game, let's decide which one of these tracks that I have just named is the most famous and iconic of them all. Across the entire franchise, which Mario Kart track is the most famous out of the famous? Well, if you ask me, I'm in a dilemma between two tracks, those being DS Waluigi Pinball and Wii Coconut Mall. But after careful consideration, I eventually came to a decision that I think that Wii's Coconut Mall is the most famous of them all. Well, yeah. Coconut Mall may not be the best track in the franchise. It may not be my favourite track in the franchise, but this list isn't based upon how much I like the track. This list is based upon how famous and how easily recognisable the tracks are. And I think that Coconut Mall is arguably the most famous track in the entire Mario Kart franchise. The music is instantly recognisable across both Mario Kart fans and non-Mario Kart fans. And the fact that this track is on Mario Kart Wii, being the most famous Mario Kart game in the franchise. Everyone, whether they're a casual fan, a serious fan, or some random stranger across the street, will generally like Coconut Mall. All of the other tracks that I've mentioned, well yeah, they are very famous tracks, but people will only recognise them if they're already fans of the Mario Kart franchise. But Coconut Mall, even people who are not into Mario Kart will know all about Coconut Mall. And that is why I think that Wii's Coconut Mall is the most famous track in the Mario Kart franchise. So yeah, that's what I think is the most famous track in the Mario Kart franchise. But which Mario Kart track do you think is the most famous? Do you disagree? Do you think it's Waluigi Pinball? Do you think it's Rainbow Road? What do you think? Write them down in the comment section below. So thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I shall see you all in 2 weeks' time.